What is up, pod pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are listening to Podcasting Business School, the show where I teach podcasters how to love your podcast like a hobby and build it like a business. This is a very special podcast audit episode with my pod pal. She's not a new pod pal. She is like, we have interacted, we've coached, we've become friends. I'm a pod pal, Ariana from the Mindful Manifesting podcast. Ariana, how's it going?
Really good. I'm looking forward to this. Thank you so much for hosting these and making this
Well,
possible.
I always enjoy collaborating, interacting with you because you actually calm me down. Like you're very soothing. You're a good friend to have in the mix, and that's a nice balance to my high energy, go
Mhm.
go go Adam personality. So um, let's dive in here. I want to like we've worked on and off with your brand and your show a little bit, so I want to know like a next 6 month goal with what you're trying to achieve. If we dial in a game plan today, and that sets a lot of momentum going for your show 6 months from today, what would that look like?
That would look like converting from listeners. And I was so excited today. I was 1,500 downloads
Nice.
this month, and that was nowhere near that before we started. And so converting listeners to clients, bringing them into my ecosystem and
Right.
getting them kickstarting their manifesting journey and playing with this in a way that I created a membership, expanding the membership, and just having access to more people to empower and ground and center and get them out of just manifesting parking spaces to their nearly impossible goals. So
Cool.
yeah, I don't know if you wanted numbers, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds perfect. I
Okay.
guess my follow-up question to that is what do you think or feel like is the number one thing that's kind of the barrier to getting there right now? Like what do you feel like is confusing or a bit of a roadblock for you right now with your brand?
It could be that I have multiple offers out there,
Okay.
and that people maybe say, I don't know really what she does.
Okay.
And so, the podcast, Mindful Manifesting, just finished the book that is up for pre sale on Amazon called Mindful Achiever. And then my business name is Higher True Self, Life Change Training. And then my flagship program is Highest Potential Program. So I've got so many things going on. I try to meet people where they are. And then I realize it's probably confusion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you're not too far off the confusion scale. I think we can hone it in. It's good that you have layers of education offering both free and paid. Um, okay. I feel like I know where we need to go now. So I've been on a major simplification kick for my brand, which is saying something because it's already pretty simple. like I've got 3 offers I've had for kind of the last 3 years, and that's about it. And it's gone really well. But every once in a while, I'm like, I need to do this or I need to do that, and I'll experiment a little bit. But I always kind of bring it home, and I'm a big fan of the phrase "simplify before it multiply." So I think like, okay, I don't think we need to necessarily prune the tree of your brand at all, but maybe it's just like the communication that we're putting out there, simplifying that and going like, okay, where's the best place for these people to start the journey? I just had this conversation on Instagram with my friend Jacob. That's like, he's like, you know what? I really feel like I just want to have a starting offer, and everybody just needs to start there. And they don't even know about all these other things that I have until they go through this, because this is where most of my good clients start anyway. So let's just focus on that instead of confusing potential clients with all these other bells and whistles that they could potentially be doing. So that might be a good idea to pursue with you and your brand is like, what is that? Do you have an initial offer or any offer that you feel like is a good starting place, but also you feel like a lot of your best client journeys start in this one offer? Do you feel like you already have something that kind of fits that bill?
It's a really good question, Adam. I said my most ideal clients come to me from readers of a very odd titled book, How to Get Lots of Money for Anything Fast. The clients who read that book, they know it works, they feel the spiritual component, and they can accomplish meaningful money and their goals. So my best clients come from that. I didn't write that book. It was the person that I was trained wrote the book, Stuart Lichtman. So if I say that's where my best ones come, because I'm considered an expert. So
Right.
immediately when they meet me, like, oh, I get to meet you and I know you can really help me. So ask the question again. That was my
Well,
first answer.
no, but like as far as like an offer that you have that like do you have that offer that tends to kick off the best results out of all your different offers? Do you have one that
Mm.
kind of stands apart of I prefer to have people start there because that tends to really launch them into a place that leads to better results on average compared to other things that you've got.
Yeah, I would say the mindful manifesting program, which I've converted to an evergreen. And then once they go through that, they understand the basics of how to manifest bigger things, how to clear the resistance and the blocks. Then they go on to my 6 month program, highest
Okay.
potential program. So there's enough overlap, but still separate key benefits for them. So I would say that.
Okay. And is that an online course? Is there any live component to that?
It's an online course. They can either take it live, I usually teach it once a year, or they can do evergreen.
Okay. Cool. So there's a couple options there. I like that. So that sounds like it has kind of the makings of a good entry point focus offer and just an idea to consider that I know works has worked for my brand. It's worked for a lot of people where I have overcomplicated my communication with the best of them. I mean, a lot of us do that. We're not really when we venture into online entrepreneurship, none of us really know what the heck we're doing. We're like, let's really experiment and create things and kind of follow the lead of other people that seem to be doing well, and we figure it out eventually, hopefully. Um, but I really feel like the a simplified marketing process of on our show, in our blogs, in our social media, let's have one consistent call to action as much as we can, and that can vary. That could be like, okay, now we're doing this quarterly launch. Let's focus on that, or we're doing a mastermind. Let's focus on that. I think the first step is aligning all of that because I'm putting out a blog, I'm putting out a newsletter, I put out 2 podcast episodes a week, I do social media content, and if I'm promoting something, one of them is my book, and the next one is my podcast, and the other one I'm going, hey, you should sign up for my course, and then hey, I've got this mastermind. That's pointing people in a lot of different directions. So I think step one would be like, what's the low hanging fruit, most important thing that I should be guiding people towards right now? And for me, for a lot of people that are having a hard time just getting traction, making consistent sales from people that find their show, their podcast specifically, I'm like, let's use the call to action of a discovery call and just invite people in to come and talk and get to know
Mm.
you a little bit better and spend 15 to 20 minutes. And with a typical discovery call, I've gotten a lot better at these and I've gotten a lot better at defining these since I did some work with my pod pal Jan Ditchfield from the No BS Business School. Shout out to Jan.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah.
So I really feel like a discovery call situation is like, hey, you're going to get value out of this because I'm going to help you identify a zone that could be improved of whatever niche you're in. And then if you would like my help, I will explain how I could potentially help you hit the fast forward button on that pain point that I just kind of outlined for you. And that's kind of a really simple way. People feel like it's almost too simple sometimes. But I'm like, hey, use a discovery call to action on your podcast in the intro and in the outro. Use that if you do a newsletter, use that on your blog, use that on social media for the next 2 to 3 months. And that's the only thing you talk about and watch the magic happen because you already have offers. You already have all
More
the
than you can
things that,
imagine.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have all the things they could plug into.
Yes.
And it's just amazing just inviting somebody in. Hey, let's come and talk. I'll help you identify a problem. If I can help you fix it, then I'll let you know what that looks like as well. And so many more people are willing to buy once they get a chance to speak to you briefly, especially if it's you and not a sales team. That's even better. And I
Mhm.
know it's not scalable, and all the gurus are like, it must be scalable and all this stuff. And I'm just like, well, if we're not making consistent income, we have to do some unscalable things first and get some traction going here. So I would consider that. And what it could look like is call to action of discovery call. And let's figure out where your manifestation roadblocks are or whatever. Like, and then we know that evergreen course is a really nice place for most people to start. If it seems like it's a good fit, if that's in their budget, that's where we start them. And then once they graduate that, then we have the next offer, but they don't know about that next offer because all we're focusing on in our brand is discovery call and initial offer. And that way it's just so simple. And will we maybe miss out on some people that would be a good fit for that second or third tier offer? Potentially. But I think we'll make up for it with the simplicity of having way more right fit people come into that initial offer and they'll still graduate over that next offer. So I think there's more money potential on the table with that very simplistic format. Any thoughts, questions, concerns on that?
Um, yes, if I'm in the middle of launching my book, Mindful Achiever, and launching a few online master classes and a retreat. So I've got, 4 things that are going to be happening over November to December. Do I just like put that to one side, not speak about it in the podcast and only discovery call? And do I then only be sending newsletters out for invitations for discovery calls and on social media? Like, how broad do you go with that?
Okay. This is a great question. So you've already got things in the works. You've got irons in the fire. So this may be something where, like we're talking at the beginning of November, you could be like, let's just keep rolling out as planned November, December, but this is our 2024 game plan. Our simplistic
Mm,
2024 game plan is right now we can map out that first quarter, second quarter, and go, okay, the first quarter, let's do an experiment. And only call to action is discovery call. Because once they
I
get on the
love that.
discovery call, you can
Yep, yep.
still angle them. Hey, you should buy my book. Hey, you should do my retreat. Hey, you should do like you can still. And the thing I love about discovery call is I always ask people, I'm like, hey, here, check all that apply. What are you struggling with right now? And they'll check a few different boxes. And then I'll go, if I'm able to solve these things for you, what's our budget look like? And I ask them to honestly give me budget ranges. Like, if I've got something that can solve this, what are we working with budget wise? And I feel like people do answer that honestly most of the time. So I go into it knowing, oh, my retreat, that's way out of their budget. They can't handle that. But my evergreen course is perfect and it'll solve the problems that they're looking to solve. So let's talk about that. Um, and that'll also help you eliminate the fear of missing out of what if somebody is a great high ticket client, like they'll self identify in that discovery call onboarding form. If you ask those types of questions and they're like, I've got a $20,000 per year budget to solve this problem. Like, oh, you need to be doing my mastermind. Let's skip all these other steps because this is just so that's the situation where if you onboard them correctly on a discovery call, you're still not going to miss out on that person that does need to start 2 or 3 stepping stones down the road. So yeah, I would look at this as your experiment for the first quarter, January, February, March, 2024. Let's do the discovery call to action, and then kind of peel off of that. Maybe you do a second quarter launch of something new. You got a new program, a new book, or a new retreat, whatever you got cooking. Then go, okay, this is for the next 8 weeks or 12 weeks. This is what I'm talking about brand wide. Like
Mm,
when I am like right now, I'm building out my mastermind promotion for
mhm.
2024. Talking about it on the show, talking about it in my newsletter, talking about it on social media, talking about it in my blog. I'm not even talking about discovery calls right now. And I'm still getting them sign up, but that's like a major time sensitive promotion. And my method still applies of let's make that the one call to action because and we'll see if it works. And if it doesn't, no one wants to do my mastermind, then okay. Now I know that I got to kind of go back and re-engineer that or rethink it. But if we have good success, then I know that I can use that in the future for the next year's mastermind or whatever. So, but my default is I always fall back to discovery call, discovery call, discovery call. So if I don't have a time sensitive promotion, the discovery call is the main CTA, if that makes sense. Does that help a little bit?
It does. I think you were reading my mind because I realize I need to put myself out there and offer those conversations because I can connect with people and really help solve their problems where they are right now. So with the discovery call, do you just call it a discovery call? What is the blurb you put on social media and in your newsletter?
Okay, so I wouldn't just call it a discovery call. I would brand it a little bit so that it's attractive. and there's like some perceived value in there. So I call my podcast profit potential discovery call.
Right. Yes, that is a
So,
great name. Okay.
so
What?
think like you deal with manifesting, like think about the main pain point, the main roadblock, especially for that person that's like ideal for that evergreen offer that you've already got, and
Yeah.
go, what are the attractive words that like podcasting profit potential, there's like an inference
Mhm.
there of like, you're missing out on something. I'm gonna help you figure out what that is, you know? So I love the word potential for a discovery call, the XYZ potential discovery call, or the, something that just infers that they're missing out,
Mm.
or there's maybe put the word roadblock in that manifestation, roadblock discovery call, manifestation breakthrough discovery call, things like whatever would be attractive, whether it's kind of a positive term or a fear inspiring term, like roadblock or potential, like that can kind of drive them to go, oh, there's something here that's missing that I need to solve, that Ariana's going to help. So I would definitely put something in there in front of the discovery call. And yeah, then just simple marketing, like on social media. My favorite thing to do, and again, simple, 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 is I'll put an Instagram story out a couple times a week. I just go on Canva and I get the little Instagram story video templates where there's like smoke rising in the background or waves or something that's just like
Mhm.
soothing. I'll put my text over the top, sign up for a podcast profit potential discovery
Yeah.
call. I've
Yeah.
got a reminder in my calendar a couple days a week. Throw one of those up there with a link to sign up, and people just hop on my calendar. And simple. Um, Same thing at the bottom of my newsletter. I'll put a link down there. Sign up for podcast profit potential discovery call. People grab that link, they'll sign up. Intro and outro of the podcast. Here's what it's about. Here's what I can help you do. Podcast profit potential discovery call. And so I just get enough reps in there that eventually people are like, when I meet them in the place when they're actually ready to get to seek help and pay somebody for it, I'm very top of mind because I'm just putting in those reps and reminding them over and over and over again. And then layering in all my testimonial stuff that tends to help quite a bit too, where people are like, oh, and this person just did hire Adam to solve a problem just like mine, and he was able to produce for them. So um, that definitely helps. So I think just we overthink this. We over
Yeah.
complicate all this stuff, and it's just like all the gurus. Like I took online courses from online course guru experts at the beginning of my journey in 2015, and there's like this one dude had this chart and he's mapping out like how to make $1 million, and I'm like, I haven't made $1, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, if you get 5,000 people to buy a $5 course, and then like all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm so far away from all that. But just being like, okay, we've got offers, we've got an audience, we've got a podcast. How do we build stepping stones to get them there? And a lot of times going, hey, podcast listeners, I got this brand new fancy schmancy course. They're just not there yet. I've had a real
Mhm.
struggle of a time trying to get people to buy something directly off of a podcast promo. But that same person will get curious for a discovery call, and I can say, hey, this really is the right option for you. If it makes sense, let's do it. And that person will convert over.
Yeah, I like that. And the name, I'm doing the coaching episodes, which you highly recommend, and those are incredible. That it's a manifesting breakthrough coaching. So I probably should not call my discovery call the same as the manifesting breakthrough.
So if you've got the manifesting breakthrough coaching style episode, and this is another important like caveat, we have to be able to distinguish between the two things, because
Okay.
like I've got my podcast audits and I've got my podcast potential discovery calls.
Right.
Which is which one is the right one for me? So I think that you should go maybe with I hate to use the word negative, but like the more fear-based title of like um maybe roadblocks. What was the name of the coaching? Was it manifestation breakthrough?
Manifesting breakthrough.
Okay. So maybe we go with the word roadblock. Like discover your manifestation roadblock in
Ooh, I
this,
like it.
20-minute
Yeah.
discovery call or
Okay, writing
whatever.
that one down.
So
Okay.
it's more of a what you're missing out on type of a branding, as opposed to
Mm.
I'm taking your hand and teaching you something. So I feel like that is a good theme for discovery call, is for those of you that are listening into this,
Yeah.
you're trying to figure out like what the heck is my theme here. Like, what's a pain point that they have, and what are they afraid of missing out on? So for me, pain point, making money as a podcaster. What are they afraid of missing out on? Like, there's profit there waiting for them, and they're just doing something wrong, and they're not getting it because they're just making an error. So let's hop on a discovery call. I'll kind of analyze where I think you're kind of leaking potential profits, and we'll analyze that and talk about solutions. So same thing with anybody's brand. Like, what's the pain point? What's the fear of missing out factor? Let's brand it alongside that and then have a conversation. So is that helpful?
Yeah, yeah, that's helpful. Yes.
Good. So, I mean, I think it's all about simplification. I know you've got so much business experience, so much coaching experience. You produce awesome results. It's just about connecting the dots. And I think going simple as much as possible and kind of pruning the communication tree a little bit so that your audience is just, and to us, I still get this way. Even I'm out there preaching 8 to 12 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks. I still feel like, man, I'm hammering them over the face with this thing every week. But we have to realize, I feel like I need to record a voice note for myself saying this sometimes and just
Yeah,
replay it every once in a while. But we have
yeah,
to
yeah.
realize not everybody listens to every episode. Not everybody sees every single social media post. Not everybody
True.
opens every email. Not everybody reads every blog post. We're just getting kind of scattershot action. The true super fans know what the heck's up, and they're going to sign up anyway. They are unannoyable. Like, they love us. They'll show up no matter how many times we say that CTA. It's like, awesome, I already signed up. But it's that other person that's kind of newer to the brand, or they kind of pick and choose their episodes or whatever. Like, that's the person that needs to have these reps. And they're like, okay, I've heard this 5 different times in 5 different spaces. Now I'm finally ready, I think, for this type of a solution. I've heard testimonials with people like myself. Okay, let's go. And that's when the reps really pay off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 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 it's very helpful because me, left to my own devices, I'll change things up
Oh
every week,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
creative people, and we love to do that. And like, all right, let's do this new thing. And I love to create things. Let's create a new lead magnet every single week or whatever. And let's talk about it. So it can be difficult, but I think just going, all right. I mean, my main takeaway for you is go, okay, the first 2 to 3 months of 2024, January, February, maybe March, if we can get you there, just that single call to action, discovery calls. Let's load them up and let's see what happens, and allow your best fit listeners to become your best fit clients by kind of choosing their own adventure to get a little hands-on experience with you, and you can guide them correctly into the next step. So I think that'll be good for you.
Love that. Choose your own adventure. I like that.
Yes, choose
Yeah.
your own manifestation adventure, y'all.
Yes.
Okay, let's shout out your brand. I want to make sure that everybody knows where they can get in touch with you if they want to link up for one of your discovery calls, come on for a coaching episode, or just enjoy your podcast. Where do they go?
Yeah, Mindful Manifesting Podcast, and those are manifesting tips and personal growth for entrepreneurs. And then also my main website is Higher True Self, Life Change, highertrueself.com. And lastly, I guess Facebook, Higher True Self, business page. And I don't put out a lot of content, but what I do is meaningful in terms of teaching and moving you forward.
Outstanding. And Ariana's stuff is really good. She's an awesome educator. Check her out. If this has piqued your interest at all, go and check out her brand and tell her that Adam sent you. And other than that, y'all, I know that a lot of you have been trying to get on my schedule for 2023 for these podcast audits. I think we're full. So hop on the calendar for 2024. This is a great way to do one of these and kick off your new year. And with that, Pod Pals, I'm going to send you out into the world wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We'll see you next time.